Hi, everybody. How are you? Hello, Coy Malone, our young social activist. You're busy and surrounded by all of your green friends as we await the arrival of our friend Dominique. How are you, Coy?
I'm doing pretty good today. How are you doing, Sybil?
I'm good. Thank you. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah. I got to know the four walls of my home a little bit more.
You
So
are quarantined
yes, I am.
because of the place where you were working, someone became infected with COVID. And so as a result, you all are quarantined for 2 weeks.
Yes, we are. So that's a major thing. We already have a lot of different COVID-19 guidelines within the workplace. And so it was discovered that somebody during an actual rehearsal tested positive. And so because we were in the area, whether or not we were in direct contact or not, just the fact of us being in the same room put us all at exposure, put us all at risk. So here I am quarantined for 14 days with me and my friends.
And so that's not a bad thing, is it? To be able to, or is it a bad thing, or is it something that now that you've been out in the world and haven't been quarantined, is it difficult to readjust to?
Just a little bit. I do understand the necessity of it and why that is something that I should do, even though I've tested negative. We still want to be safe. I want to make sure that people around me that I know are safe as well. And I want to make sure that I'm healthy and ready to get back to work. So I just took it with that understanding. It does kind of suck because I want to get out. I want to go, grocery shopping. I've had friends send me all kinds of invites. They've never sent me invites for the last few months, and now they're sending me invites today.
Because everybody's getting out except you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let's welcome our friend, comedian extraordinaire, Dami Dom. Hello, Dominique.
Hey,
How
sis.
are you?
Hey, Coy. How y'all doing?
Hey,
Sorry, I was
Dominique.
running late. How y'all doing?
That's okay. How
We're
are
doing
you?
great.
I'm doing well, thank you.
You busy?
I am.
You okay?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
I just had some business. I just got a little tied up. That's all. But I'm
Okay.
okay. Everything's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, we're glad that you're here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, sis.
Huggy and Chris are out today, and so Dominique has graciously filled in for her East Coast homies and her DMV. Even I could be even more specific, homies today. So, Dom, did you have a good weekend?
I did. How about you?
It was good. It was
I
quiet.
did.
I traveled a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I got on a plane for the first time in a year and a half.
How did you feel?
Well, to Chicago, I should say. I went to Chicago. The last time I was on a plane was when I went to work with Black Lives Matter in the fall. But I went to Chicago for the first time in a year and a half, and that was it was for not a great situation. There's a family friend who passed away. Her mom passed away, and but it was a joyous celebration of her life. She was 97
Oh,
years
okay.
old.
Oh, wow.
All
And
right.
so,
That was great. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, not that the funeral was great. Don't get me
right,
wrong,
right.
sis.
And you know how it is with those things when you go home, and it really is old home week, and so everybody wants to grab and wants to, and we're all masked up still, and some people are not so much, but a lot of us maintained the masking and things, and tried to hug or grab onto each other and stuff like that.
I'm still
So,
wearing my mask.
me too. Me
Starting to see a
too.
lot of people not wearing masks
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
now.
Yeah.
That's a
problem.
little bit alarming, especially with a new wave of COVID happening.
Yeah, and that's a something we talk about every day in the What You Need to Know newsletter. We talk about these the Delta variant and how really forceful it is, and more deadly than the original coronavirus that we were confronted with a year ago. And this is really likely to kill people who are not vaccinated, according to the doctors. This is going to seriously impair or kill people, those that have chosen not to get vaccinated. What it will do for those of us that are vaccinated is not be as deadly, but still deadly nonetheless. So that was my weekend. It was interesting because there was not an empty seat on any of the planes. There was no place.
No.
I mean, it was just, and Dom, you've had this already. Coy, I'm not sure about your traveling thus far in planes, but it was the airports are like this.
Oh, I've been seeing there's a local Instagram account here in Atlanta, and they show the lines in TSA at our airport, and they are packed. I'm talking about people that have spent 2 and 3 hours in the
Yeah.
lines
Yeah.
at TSA, and I'm like, wow. Now I've traveled on plane before the middle seats were
Yeah,
opened
well,
up to
everything was
other
up.
people.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
American hadn't done that in a long time. I'm gonna tell you. So let's talk about what's going on in the news
Yeah.
and our topical things. And the first story is very sad. I got to tell you, because many of us grew to know this woman as a result of the reality TV show starring her daughter. Keisha Cole's mom, Frankie, passed over the weekend. She suffered from an overdose on her weekend, on her birthday, on her 61st birthday. Frankie Lyons died passing away on her birthday after several decades-long struggle with addiction.
You
Her
hate to hear it.
Keisha's brother Sam said that she overdosed at her Oakland home Sunday, the same day she was celebrating her born day, he said, when she apparently took
Mm.
drugs while partying, relapsing on what we're told was a long, hard fight it towards sobriety. He was checking in with her daily, trying to help her stay clean. The battle that everyone had watched and experienced over the seasons with Keisha Cole's reality show. And this was on television. Of course, we saw that on BT, social media, and other channels have also given us a look into Frankie Lyons' life. And he also said the family wants the world to remember Frankie as someone who loved her kids and wanted her children to be together despite their turbulent history. And as folks know, that we learned, Keisha was given up by Frankie and her biological father for adoption at a
Mm-hmm.
very early age. So, and our thoughts and condolences go to Keisha Cole's family and the others, like her brother Sam. This was Keisha Cole, My New Life was the main series that we saw, in which Frankie had cameos on, and the mother and daughter duo was 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 sweet and yet very turbulent. And she was also very vocal about her mom's addiction struggle. So, our thoughts and goals. Did you guys watch that show?
I
I watched some
did.
of it, yeah. Hmm.
Dom, you
I,
watched?
I watched it, and she was off the chain the whole time.
That is
She
a good way of putting it.
wasn't. Yeah, she was off the chain the whole time. I'm sorry she passed on, but she had addiction issues, and sometimes when people can't get over their addiction issues, these type of things. She was working hard to be clean when the show
Yeah,
was on, and
yeah,
that was some years ago now.
Right.
yeah, yeah.
You know, and being high strung and getting high, it ain't a good recipe.
No, but Coy, and I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but she seemingly represented a lot of people.
She did,
Yeah, she
and it's
did.
something that it does hit close to home because I do have to be honest, my sister just talked about having a drug addiction from the time that she was 12 up
Wow,
until about
Wow.
10 years ago, and she's
wow,
been clean now for 10 years. When you
bless her
do
heart.
have a drug addiction, it is something that puts a grip on you and
Hmm.
it doesn't let go, and when you
All
try
right.
to let go of it like it hits you 10 times harder. This is something that we need to talk about within the Black community because we have so much of this going on, but the resources to help us
Yeah.
often is just jail
Mm-hmm.
and sentencing
Hmm.
rather than counseling and
Hmm.
help in whatever kind of medical treatment to help you get off of this.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
Hmm.
criminalized for a sickness when we see now these designer drugs are getting glorified, and they get all kinds of treatment centers and stuff like that. But when it was crack in the 80s and cocaine in the 70s, it was just go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still a lot of that today too.
Yeah.
And
It's
Coy,
still a
so
lot.
let me ask you this, Coy, and I'm going to ask you in front of everybody else, and not a personal thing, but certainly you are our social justice contributor on the What You Need to Know newsletter. Is that something that you could address in the newsletter as well? Because and I don't want to inflict too much personal pain on you, but it seems so you have that experience, and it's something that we do talk about. The addictions that whether our parents were alcoholic or drug addicted or gamblers, or these are all addictions that affect many of us in our community.
Yeah, this is definitely something that I can talk about, that I feel like needs to be talked about more so on all of our behalves, whether or not it affects you directly or not. It affects someone.
Sure.
There's someone that you know that is affected by some sort of addiction.
Yeah.
And it's real.
It's real, and it's pervasive. It is
Yes.
something that is just with us and stays with us for a lot of the time. So if you would, as you go about in doing the stories for the What You Need to Know newsletter, it would be great if you would touch on some of those issues as well, because as you say, the answer is not jail. Prison is not the answer, and we have to look and open up conversations of the opportunities that are out there, and help our people to take advantage of these programs that are available, or to force the discussion and open up the opportunities for them to take advantage of them. So I'm sorry about your sister, and I admire her for her strength. I'm sorry, Dominique.
Me too. I said Frankie was funny too.
She was.
She really was funny too. I'm sorry she passed, but she was funny too.
She was.
And not only did she have to deal with that drug addiction, in the middle of dealing with the drug addiction, it was really difficult for Frankie, in my opinion, because her children needed so many things out of her. They needed apologies. They needed to understand why. So it was just things piled on top of things. It was a lot. But she walked strong through it all, and
she was quite a character,
she kept it moving,
and quite a woman. And I never saw, but I really think they could have used Iyanla. Because all of them had issues, and I mean, all of us have issues, right? But their issues were right out there, just in the public, in one of the most popular shows ever. And so this was an indication of needing some real professional help, and I think that probably, and you're absolutely right, Stephanie Cook. The pandemic has not helped people who have addictions. It has put a spotlight on it, and it's magnified the problems and the issues, but it has not helped them. And we're still in the struggle, because now it looks like we may be going into another pandemic, another stage of this with the Delta variant, as you mentioned before. Dominique, I wanted to talk about this in your hometown of Washington, D.C. Outside of America's favorite pastime was now America's number one topic, and that's gun control or violence in the streets. Outside of Washington National Stadium, in the middle of the Nationals and San Diego Padres game the other night, gunfire, and had people scrambling inside and outside of the stadium. Police are continuing to investigate the shooting. Authorities under the impression the shooting involved individuals in two vehicles. They've already taken possession of one car in connection with the shooting and asked for the public's help in tracking down the second car. And the mayor has asked people with any information to please contact the police and let them know what has happened. But this was in the midst of the game. And so the game was called, obviously, but people didn't know where to go, right?
Right.
People are, do you run outside? No, you stay inside. Do you go underneath your seats? Do you go to, some people went to the dugouts.
They did, and what I found out is that the people that you saw running, after they told them, they had cleared everything up when they began to run out the stadium, because they told them just stay in place until we work out what's going on. But something really has to be done about the constant shooting.
Right.
I do not understand what the constant shooting is about. It's not like it's even an open air drug market. I think it's a lot of young people that are really desensitized.
Right.
And the ball has been dropped on them. And, I'm going home next week. So I'm going to see what I'm able to do. If there's anything that I'm able to do, I'll go talk to young people. I'm going to go to my, talk to some of the advisors at my old high school and stuff, because this is just outrageous, and it's just aimless shooting, and it appears to be for no apparent reason at all. When I was growing up, I at least understood the shooting. I grew up in the area with an open air drug market. from what I understand, those times are not the same anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just random shooting. And I'm like, who is it really? Is it really the young people? You know, I have conspiracy theories about things.
I know
you know
do.
that I do, and this may be way out. You know, I was like, and I was thinking about it. This may be way out. I was like, is it the police trying to show us? Oh no, you need our presence. You know, my mind will take me there when I'm trying to figure out what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's just killing. Like, for what reason?
Right.
A lot of people don't have conflict resolution skills anymore.
What is that? I mean, we don't have them in our houses. I don't know how we expect in our homes. I don't know how we expect to have them on the streets, right? So talk about that, Coy.
Yeah, there's lack of conflict resolution. There's lack of presence of parents, whether it be a mother or a father, showing their children, hey, listen, this is what we do when we're confronted with an issue. This is how we de-escalate situations. And then, you know, not to speak ill of young parents, but we have a big generation of young parents that are super young, and they're trying to raise kids based off of what they know at that point, based off of advice from their peers, based off of things that they see posted on TikTok and Instagram. It's just a lack of a lot of parenting and skills that are built within the home. And then you don't have people that know. Nobody knows how to fight anymore. They're not going to raise fists. They're not going to duke it out.
Nobody says, okay, at 3:15, hold my earrings.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what that horrors first is bang. I even saw a situation, was it over the weekend in Atlanta or within the last week, where these two men approached another young man, grabbed him up, snatched his chain off, and said, you know, you owe me money, so I'm going to take this from you or whatever. And the young man's response was to shoot up their car.
Yeah.
Like, there's just, and he did now, I don't know, on behalf of that young man, he did say, leave me alone, back up. It doesn't have to be like this. But then again, he didn't have to take it to that point after they've already snatched your chain, they left, they got in the car. Like, I don't know.
It's almost like they don't realize, like it was a 6-year-old little girl to be murdered. It's almost like when they're shooting, they don't realize that death is a final thing. Like, it's almost like they approach this situation like a video game. You're not going to get powered back up and keep moving. That's not going to happen. But to Coy's point, when you have parents, when we were growing up, when you have parents, it's going to always be a problem. When you have parents that have the same activities as the children.
Right.
It's something wrong with that. You know, like Coy said, TikTok. My mother would have never been on TikTok. My mother would have said, if you don't shut that damn TikTok, get the camera away from. I had those when I was listening to New Edition, dancing to Cool It Down. My mother wasn't on there going like this with me.
Right.
She was listening to
and
the Temptations.
Bobby Brown could get it, you know.
No, she wasn't saying Bobby Brown could get it. So when you have that going on, and even though I think social media is a great thing, but I also think these things have their place. The cell phone, like people, we don't communicate. We don't even talk. You can go out to eat and the whole family is like this.
Yeah.
You're not, and
they're all looking at their phones, or
and if you're not talking to your children, it's going to be hard for you to sow into your children the things that they need to be, so they won't run around and just shoot. Critical thinking, it is a lost art.
Or just report when the emergency situation is going on. Instead of jumping in to help or trying to help de-escalate, we're just going to sit here and record.
We're going to sit here and record until the good. And I'm going to tell you how bad it is. I was in Detroit, say like a week ago. So I was taking an Uber, and I was leaving the hotel to go to the airport. And it was a young guy sitting in this how bad they're shooting people over anything. It was a young guy sitting right in front of the doorway of the hotel. My Uber pulled, wouldn't even ask him to move. And this was an older gentleman. And it's raining. I had to walk in the rain over to my Uber. He said, I can't ask him to move. He might shoot me. Wow. Something is wrong with that.
Yeah.
You don't even have respect for your elders.
That's real.
Wrong with that thinking.
That's absolutely real.
And a whole generation will be dead if this continues.
Yeah. Yeah, that is real. And we're going to continue our conversations about what's really going on, And that is something that will come back and address as well. This is something that is happening of a more positive nature. And that is the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit magazine. You're like, well, what is that? What's really going on? What's really going on is that history has been made with three women of color, I should say, who are going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, making them first. They're the long list of heavy-hitting models in this historic swimsuit issue. And for almost 60 years, Sports Illustrated has been producing their notorious swimsuit issue that gets a lot of buzz. But Megan Thee Stallion is topped as one of the first ones to be featured on this. She is the first rapper to ever be featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated and second musical artist on the cover after Beyonce's and she celebrated the news on Twitter and stated that Hottie Boot Camp pays off in reference to her workout series on YouTube. So congratulations to Megan Thee Stallion.
All right.
That's right. Second person is Naomi Osaka, the tennis champion. She's the first Black athlete to appear on the magazine in the swimsuit issue.
Which would make sense. A Black athlete, it just makes sense.
Well, it does. Sports Illustrated. Hello. Yes. I don't know if we'll say, for instance, Serena has been invited to, or Venus had been invited to be on the cover. Perhaps they had, and they turned it down. But here we are with Naomi being the first Black athlete on the cover. She's been away from the public for a little bit to work on her mental health, as we've been talking about those issues, and made a return on the cover in that great cutout swimsuit there that you see. And she says that the opportunity feels like a dream. So congratulations to her. Now, the third is another history maker. This is Layla Bloom. She is the first transgender woman to be featured on the cover. She took to Instagram to express her excitement. She's happy, honored, and humbled. The girl from Chicago also made sure to convey how this moment heals a lot of pain in the world for trans individuals, adding that they deserve this moment. So she looks fabulous. Congratulations to her. These three women are joining the ranks of other firsts, including Tyra Banks, the first Black model on the cover, and soccer great Megan Rapinoe, the first openly gay cover model. And beyond this is one of the most diverse swimsuit editions they've ever had because it features plus size models, a historic number of women of color, and a 57-year-old as well. So we'll follow up on that. Which brings me to not only the history part of this, ladies, but also our question of the day. And asking for people to respond as you hear this. Naomi Osaka, as we just referenced, had taken some time out to work on her mental health. So that means that she stepped away from some of the Grand Slam tournaments, starting with the French Open, right? And did not perform at Wimbledon. Now she was scheduled to go to the Olympics, but with that and represent Japan. I don't know why anybody's going to the Olympics. I just don't.
Sybil, I just don't even understand what the Olympics is all about.
And that's not even my question, Dom, but that's an ongoing argument in my head as we find out more people who are affected by this. But here's the question. So Naomi Osaka has been criticized by conservatives, namely Megyn Kelly, who still try to get back into a media spotlight, about the swimsuit photos and pulling out of the tournaments. And so my question is, what do you think about her doing this and moving back into the public spotlight? Or is she doing too much after requesting solitude? What do you think, ladies? We have people who are responding as well. So let's go. You guys think about that. Arthretta Wilson on Facebook, Megan K stepped into the poop. The photo shoot was taken last year before her leave of absence. Naomi got her straight. And that was the next part that I was going to mention. Thank you for that, Arthretta. This had been done long before. And so she, and that's the way these big magazines are. You have to make plans. You have to have the photos done months and months and months in advance. And so but that's not the first time for Megyn Kelly. But it does beg the question, as far as criticism is concerned. If you say that you need some time off, do you think that she's doing too much? Because not only does she have this, she had the doll that sold out within minutes or hours or whatever it was, the Barbie doll, and people were pushing that. And so I just wonder how this thing really sounds to them, and all of the criticism and trying to push this out of your head as you're just trying to live your life, and you can't in the spotlight, and especially the one of the top tennis players in the world.
You just have to know when people ignorant. Megyn, you just gotta know when people ignorant. There's nothing wrong with Naomi Osaka taking time off for her mental health. Nothing. Megyn Kelly just want people to look at her, so she just being messy in my opinion.
Yeah.
She just want people to what does Megyn Kelly ever says that makes sense?
Well, you got a good point there.
Whenever she say something, it's something simple and something stupid. I'm like, I can't even believe people even listen to her. Anytime a black person don't stand up for themselves and say, I'm gonna look out for me, that's a problem. And Naomi Osaka did exactly what she was supposed to. Y'all getting on my damn nerves. I'm already struggling mentally, and I'm gonna go home and y'all can play your little tennis without me.
Right.
And it's nothing wrong with that, Megyn
Kiss
Kelly.
my racket and
kiss my racket
and buy my doll and read me in the magazine.
Thank you.
Okay.
And watch me in this cover. I'm killing this cover.
Right.
So it's unnecessary what Megyn Kelly was saying.
So do you?
She clout chasing, if you ask.
No, exactly. She's
chasing.
Like I said, she's been out of the spotlight for a while. But my God, they paid her to go away. Just go away. They paid her $30-something million to go away. Just
go away.
No. She's trying to get another show. She's trying to do a podcast. She's doing too much for somebody who just used so much ignorance to me. But that's my very.
They gave you plenty of money. Go somewhere and learn to play tennis yourself.
Yeah, hire Naomi. Maybe
maybe she'll teach you. Go play golf. Sit down, Karen. You talking too much. Nobody asked you nothing.
You're absolutely right. Deidre is on YouTube, and she says even if she took the pictures yesterday, she's operating on her own terms. Right. And don't we all want that, Deidre Swindell? She can pick and choose what she wants to do. Megyn Kelly needs to mind her own damn business, and that's exactly what Dom is saying. Thank you, Deidre. And I think that's what we're all in agreement with that. But here's the thing, and you are probably right in there in the age group with Naomi Campbell, Coy. How do you balance trying to live your life and deal with this ignorance and having to go on Twitter or whatever and give Megyn Kelly a piece of your mind?
Well, sometimes you have to learn to not respond to people and their comments and tune it out. You also have to kind of prepare yourself for knowing that when you put yourself on this public platform and you're gaining a lot of attention because of the position that you play within your own platform. Now it's on a public platform. You're gonna get criticism.
Right.
So I just try to prepare myself mentally for those things. Just understanding, like, with the different fields that I work in, that people are gonna say things and there's nothing I can do to change their opinion. When I do get tired, I do take breaks and what have you for a couple of days. I've even been known to take breaks for a couple of weeks or months from social media just to readjust and get acclimated with what's real, what I can actually touch, what matters in my life. And just do that and have things that you enjoy. I enjoy plants.
We see. They don't talk back to you.
Right.
They do nothing but love you and give you great oxygen in the world and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah,
do that, or take walks, or just have something that is not associated with accolades. It's not associated with setting a goal. It's not associated with what people think or feel, how much money you will or will not make. Have something that just purely makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dom, and I know you've seen this, and I think we all have. But the way that the media will build people up in order to break them down. They get, oh, you're the greatest, you're the greatest, you're the greatest, and then you ain't ish, as you go on. And we've
It's
all seen it,
ugly.
right?
And what makes it even worse is now we have this vehicle where everybody can give their opinion about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one thing if they were building you up and tearing you down, and you ain't have to hear the lady that fry fish on Friday give her damn opinion about it. You know what I'm saying? Fry the fish. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know me. Fry. You got great fish. Stick to that. I love what you do. That's your lane. You killing it. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
killing it
Stay
in
in.
a fish
Come
fry.
on, Miss Mary, you killing it. You making plenty of money. It don't get no better than you. Stay in your lane. So with social media, it made it worse because you hearing people talk about you like they live with you. You don't even know me. You know what I do professionally.
Right.
But you talking about me like we sat down and went to Roof Chris last week. What you doing?
Right, right. No,
What are
oh,
you
you didn't even
doing?
go to a fish restaurant.
Didn't even go to a fish restaurant. Stay in your lane. And people
Yeah.
so cruel with this little bully pulpit of social
Yeah.
media.
Oh, the anonymity of the computer. It is just
Oh my God, them keyboard
The
cowards.
keyboard thugs.
yeah, keyboard
Oh my
cowards.
God,
Right.
they
Yeah.
something else. They'll
Yeah.
type they'll type up and tear you down. But like my acting coach said, don't read the comments. When I was in
Right.
this acting class, he said, don't read nothing they say. He said, because it's gonna tear you down, you're gonna be drinking, be on drugs if you read what these people. And I did it one time, and the lady had me curled over like I had the flu.
Oh.
I said,
Oh.
damn, I was that bad. I thought the people
Oh.
was
Oh no.
laughing, but apparently not her. She lit me up. I'm talking about a big long ass paragraph.
Oh yeah.
And I
Yeah.
ain't read it since. I said I can't do it. I been and quit my job.
Right.
I
Right.
said I can't do it. So yeah,
No.
you gotta.
And what is it about this whole bullying and the anonymity of it? And like you say, they ain't got nothing else going on in their world, and they feel compelled to tell you about. I mean, Valerie Bertinelli a couple weeks ago, she a grown woman, 60 years old,
Crying.
was just boo hooing because somebody said how bad she looked and how she had gained her weight back. Well, who among us doesn't?
I mean,
And
after the
that could be a 400,
pandemic.
600 pound woman sitting at her house doing that
Yeah.
and bringing somebody else down. It just breaks my heart. It
But
just,
the problem with the bullying is, see, don't nobody want to knock the bully out no more. You remember when they
right,
said,
right,
who doing it?
right.
Go beat the
Okay,
bully's ass, and
okay.
then the rest of them look out, but don't nobody want to
Nobody
do that.
does that
And it
anymore.
really got out of control when we had a bullying president. He
Okay.
bullied his way in the office,
Yep.
and bullying was already an issue. But
Yep.
when he got in office and he
And
stood around for 4 years being a bully, everybody was like, yeah, I'm a bully. I'm scared. And it's just knocked the bully out.
and how crazy was it, Dominique, that was his wife's big ta-da? That was her champion moment against bullies.
Come on. And she laying with one every
Right.
night.
Well, we don't know she was.
Oxymoron. No,
We,
yeah,
we
right.
don't
You
know that
right.
they were laying
Look,
together,
see
y'all.
it. Yeah, you right.
But
Yeah.
Carolyn Jones Jameson says on Facebook, absolutely, that's what I miss about Dominique. Straight, no chaser. Yes.
Thank you, girl. So it's this bullying. They used to tell us knock the bully out, and it was true. When
Hmm.
the bully got knocked out, everybody else was like, "Oh, you knocked Big Bertha out." Oh, I'm telling you,
Ooh.
you got the juice now.
Mad
Coy
respect.
knocked out Big Bertha.
Yep. Nobody. And there you go.
Nobody.
And there
I
It's
you
do it
go.
in the comments.
You know what? You do respond to a lot, Coy.
I do. I
You
don't care.
respond a lot. I've seen it. Somebody will just do an innocent post, just such a fun, lively. I have a friend who's on a talk show, and she just did an innocent one, and people went after her, and it's like
yeah.
all she was trying to do was take us back to a lighter, livelier, fun time, But we just everything doesn't have to be said. One of my favorite sayings is, "It is better to speak and be thought an idiot than to. It is better to remain silent and thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt."
Believe that. And my grandmother used to say it all the time. And it's just, we need to start living like the 103-year-old lady.
Right.
When they asked her, ma'am, how did you live to be 103? Minding my business.
Right.
She
Right.
said, I mind my business. I said, and that's wisdom right there.
Okay.
Can't do it though.
And that's what you need to know. And we continue our conversation about what you need to know on the newsletter. And we start out with our young social activist, Coy Malone. Coy, let's talk about your story in the What You Need to Know newsletter, in which, and Coy also has the longest headlines. May I just point that out of anybody? But this is, Coy's story is the footage of Black man accused of stealing cell phone goes viral. And you told the whole story. So nice talking to you, Coy. All right. No, I'm kidding. So tell us about this video.
Well, there was a young Black man in Moreno Valley, California at a Walmart who was approached by a white woman accusing him of stealing her son's cell phone. She said that the GPS tracker on the iPhone located it at his car. That's why she came up and approached him about it. He told her, I don't have it. Here's my ID, here's my wallet, here's my money, here's my phone. I don't steal. She kept accusing him. She wouldn't let him leave. He goes back into the Walmart to tell an associate, hey, this is what's going on. I have an issue with this woman who is racially profiling me, and that's going to be a problem for her. Just then, the son comes back in the store holding the phone. It was in their car.
Which was probably parked very close to his.
Probably. Who knows? Who knows? So he asked for the woman's name, and she says, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
He wants to.
Okay, let's just say go F yourself. Can we just say that for
go F yourself? So I didn't say that.
I don't know if your mama's listening or not, Coy. I just think it'd be better if we just said it that way. Because my mama's watching from heaven, I know. And I just like to have her say, yeah.
Exactly. So, yes, he asked for the woman's name. And her response is, go F yourself. So he says, it's okay. When I was outside and I saw your son going towards the car, I was able to get the license plate information from your car. So I will be pressing charges.
So, Coy, take it another step. Didn't she have a shirt on indicating where she worked?
That's how she got caught. So
that's how she got
this young man took video of the entire exchange. The woman has on a shirt, colorful, has a slogan. When he uploads it to social media and YouTube, you know, internet investigators say, that's the slogan that people wear at Kaiser Permanente.
Oh, Lord.
This is her name.
Okay, so Coy, let's go to that.
Now you're full of shit, and now I am accusing you. You said you were staying here because you have nothing to.
You're accusing me.
So let's go ahead and
Thank you.
Mind you, the keychain says Kaiser Permanente as well.
we have other.
But that's what you call karma. You know, she been doing all this kind of little stuff even when it wasn't on video.
Probably.
Around here, you know, just and it caught up with.
It's in the Karen handbook now.
It's in the Karen handbook. I had to get a Karen at a comedy show. I can't tell you what I said. It goes over the language barriers of a civil show, but yeah, I had to get the Karen. She going on stage. I said, wait. You don't bring me up on stage. Because, you know, since people not wearing masks and stuff, she ain't like that I was wearing my mask up there. Let me do let me flow how I'm flowing. Right. She gonna say, and poor Dominique. I said, I'm gonna get her just as soon as I get the mic. And I was hosting the show. I said, these Karens, man. I said, white women need to calm down. Your audacity is crazy. Wow. Nobody has to steal a cell phone. They'll give you one. They'll give you one. Who has to steal a damn cell? You can go to Metro PCS anywhere and get you a phone. You can get a prepaid card and just load up some money. You can get a phone out of 7-Eleven, lady.
Okay.
And get a prepaid card and put some minutes on it and call who you like until your minute. You don't have to steal a cell phone.
We don't have to do that.
No, cut it out.
And we're better than that, and
Yeah.
we deserve better treatment. Dom, I love that story. Do we have the second video? Let's show that of the same.
I'm a married man sitting here dealing with this woman's irate because her husband can't, our son can't be responsible for a phone. That's not my fault, but being racially profiled, that's going to be
When
hers.
we were in the parking lot, it was marking him like right there, but I can't.
Where's that now? Still marking me? They should follow us, right? If I have the phone, right, should follow us in the store.
I am going to.
She accused me, and it's okay because I have everybody's face that's involved.
But I'm not, I just, why I went up to him, it was marking like right where we were at.
No, I can't for my safety. Everybody I'm involved in, I understand. When she racially profiled me, her son found the phone. Her son found it though. It was in the car. Her son found it in the car. So now I'm going to press charges. Ma'am, may I have your name, please? May I have your name, please, ma'am?
No.
No? Okay, that's okay. I'll get your license plate.
So she said it for you too, Coy.
And a real example for her son. I can see that.
Yeah, she's setting a fine example, as many of the Karens are.
Right.
Yeah.
And that story inspired today's shirt when they feel like they're using pyrokinesis, but they're not. This is what they think they're doing. You're just pissing me off.
Oh God, Coy.
Oh my gosh. Have you had Dominique has just expressed the Karen experience. Have you had the Karen experience yourself, Coy?
If you count a micromanaging manager that I had.
Oh, okay. But not where you've been accused of something and you know they try to make an example with the stolen phone, like the Karens. You know that's usually their number one thing.
I did actually one time at a store, which is so funny. One of my friends manages the store now. That's the only reason why I've returned to this store. The alarms went off when I was leaving.
Oh yeah.
And I think I had it was something in my purse that triggered their alarm. I didn't purchase anything in the store. They demanded that I stop. They said, you stole something. I'm like, how? When I've been walking around with the associate, you all have seen me, you know, there's cameras everywhere. They said, you need to stop right where you are now and empty your purse right here on the floor. I said, no, protocol is if you're accusing someone of stealing, you take them to the back, wherever management is or security is, and you search them then. They had an undercover officer pull up and show up at the door with his hands in his waist belt by his weapon, like he was going to draw his weapon. He had handcuffs out. I said, excuse me? They took my purse. I just dropped it on the floor. I said, here, I threw it at them. I let them empty it and everything. And I said, as soon as you get done with this, I want your owner's name. I want the name of the person that runs this entire district, everything. I left a bad review. It got like 10,000 views and like 50 something likes. A lot of people said they had the same thing happen. But what they were trying to say was, well, the owner has had a lot of issues with people in the area stealing.
You people.
And every time the alarm goes off, he's calling and he's checking the cameras from home. And I'm like, I can understand that, but this is not protocol. And now you've done this with me, a Black woman. I'm by myself and an officer is standing behind me, ready to draw a gun or handcuffs. And you should have taken me to the back. So,
a similar thing has happened to us all, I think. When we are talking about what you need to know newsletters, there's a couple more things I want to talk about. One is that was the 1 year since the death of Congressman John Lewis, and there were a lot of events that went on this weekend, including the dedication of a ship, U.S. Navy ship, USNS John Lewis, as well as people were arrested too. Congresswoman Joyce Beatty, the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, and other women who were out there complaining and demonstrating against the lack of passage of these Voting Rights Acts. 9 women and men, and primarily Black women, were arrested on Thursday, and as they hashtag good trouble, which was what John Lewis encouraged all of us to stay in, if you will. And also, we're keeping an eye on the Texas Democrats from the state house as they continue. They're now into week 2 of their boycott of what's going on in Texas state house and the special legislative session. They say they will not return until after the end of this session, August 7th. So that is what's happening in What You Need to Know newsletter. And please check out our newsletter. Go to SybilWilkes.com. It's an absolutely free subscription, and you can see a lot of conversation that we have, including that Coy and Dominique and I have had over this week. All right. So as far as our entertainment is concerned, it is time for entertainment, and I do want to talk. Dom, have you enjoyed the NBA Finals, Dominique?
No, because
well, you're a Lakers fan, first of all, so
that's true. So it's different
so
when
does
you're
that color it?
not necessarily the way the game is played does it for me. See, you know, both of us are basketball fans, so the way the game is played for me now, I don't stick to it like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, you know, if I'm not doing anything, I'll watch it, but I don't run like, oh, the game is coming on, I'm gonna go home and watch the game. I don't do that anymore. You know, it's just the way the game is played.
It doesn't have
I don't like
anything
the
to do.
IQ of the game anymore.
It
They don't
doesn't
have
have
the
anything
same
to do
IQ.
with Phoenix versus Milwaukee, which are they're not the big teams.
No, but I'm a Giannis fan.
Okay, so you're a
Antetokounmpo fan, and I like Chris Paul.
Yeah, me
You
too.
know, I like those things, but I really have a problem with the IQ of today's game. I do. They play it like it's on PlayStation, and I'm like, fool, do you see those three defenders and you still gonna run to the hole? Really? Are they paying you millions to do that? Is that what I'm seeing tonight? And another thing,
yes, please.
And I don't like the crew. I don't like that Jalen Rose crew.
Oh,
I'm a TNT. I like Charles Barkley. I like people to say, well, I like Charles Barkley. Look, man, this is what I like that cat, because, you know, I like the way they talk about the game. But that's the part that I don't like the IQ. I don't like them not having any poise.
Yeah.
You know, when you down 3 points or 5 or 10 points, and it's like 4 minutes, calm down. You don't have to shoot 6 3-pointers. What are you doing? Calm down.
So I think, right.
Yeah, they're just, it's not the game as it is smart. So I may watch. I'm not even gonna watch the game tomorrow because I'm going out tomorrow night to the Laugh Factory. So I'm not even gonna watch the game. But I don't enjoy it like I used to. See, I'm old school.
I'm watching Coy, but I don't enjoy it like Dominique.
Yeah.
And it's not because the players, because I'm a big Chris Paul fan, and I'm pulling for Phoenix because I want to see him get that championship.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's journeyed long and hard, and this is his moment. He deserves it. I just wish that his team would step up and get him that ring. But are you involved? Are you emotionally? Are you watching? Are you in any way? If it's not a Lakers championship, then you have no interest too?
Yeah, kind of. But then again, I do want to see who wins because this is an interesting matchup. These are two teams that nobody thought was going to win. And with the pandemic happening and shutting down basketball, then it coming back, this kind of shook up the talent.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. And it ended up being who can survive throughout this pandemic and have, you know, the stamina to keep going. It would be great to see Chris Paul win. He's been in the NBA for a long time.
Yeah.
And I love to see that happen.
And I love the Greek Freak. I love that Midwest team is in there because I don't know if and when the Chicago Bulls will ever get back to a championship. But I've given up on them.
I do want to shout out Chris Middleton because Chris Middleton, he's a great player. So I like to see certain players play. But I just like when every position was deep. Yeah. And everybody at that position was talented. I miss the big man. I can't stand to see Giannis on the perimeter that big. it irks me to see him shooting 3-pointers. Yeah. Get your big ass in the paint.
That's why you're there.
That's why you're there. You supposed. I don't like that. You know what I mean?
That's a good defensive strategy. Keep him on the outside.
It is, but I'm just saying. When I say that, Coy, you're right because he'll hurt them in there. But I'm saying I miss the big man in the game.
Yeah.
You know, I miss the James Worthy. I miss the Charles Barkley's. I miss that low post play. And I don't like this foul calling.
Oh, my God. Nuts. Oh, my God. You get 10 fouls.
And then they always want to do a comparison. Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Let me explain something. Michael Jordan would have scored 70 points every night, and you couldn't put your hands on him.
Right.
He would have closed the gate on the game. Okay.
Yeah.
He would have literally got he would have got 45 from the line. He would have scored 45 or 50 at the line. So I just don't.
With his eyes closed and his back to the basket.
Come on now. He would have used these boys.
Speaking of basketball, Space Jam, #1 at the box office. Was anybody really surprised at that?
No,
Did anybody go see it?
I saw some of it.
You saw. So did you see anything? Did you go sneak into the theater, or did you see it online? Or, did you get a bootleg? I haven't heard anybody say that in a long time.
I saw part of it, and it was good. It was really good. It was the parts I saw. It was good. I just ain't like that Don Cheadle couldn't be Don Cheadle. Everybody else was their self, and Don Cheadle. They don't know this Don Cheadle.
Right.
He know LeBron James. LeBron James don't know that Don Cheadle.
Right. Okay. What was that about, Don?
I said, is this Don Cheadle or look alike? Because to me, it looked like Don Cheadle. But
right.
I just wanted Don Cheadle.
Don's brother? What?
What? So, but it was good. And I think the kids and everything are like it. I thought it was good. I'm a LeBron James fan, so it was cool.
Yeah, me too.
And I like the son, and I like that little interaction. So I thought it was a cool movie.
I thought it would have been cool if he had his own kids in there, because I just think that one of them is like a computer geek, and But
the little boy really was a prototype of his son.
Yeah, he really was.
And it was funny, and I was glad that they said that the way they set it up with his son for him to be like a little computer geek or whatever. Yeah. I thought that was great. Because with LeBron James being your father and that pressure, I thought that was so great. So he doesn't have to play basketball.
That's right.
He's into other things. He don't want to play basketball.
And that highlighted I think all of those other things that our kids.
Yeah, I think that was great. Yeah, I thought that was great. Leave that man. It was good. It was cool. I like LeBron James though. Y'all know I'm a Lakers fan. Y'all know how I feel.
So, Coy, let me ask you. I'm not sure if everybody else is as attuned to the Power TV series, and that now we're into book 3. Recently, the debut of book 3. So tell us, did you see? I got to be honest with you. I have not seen Power since book 2. They took a break, and I never went back.
I don't like that nonsense because I lose this. What you breaking for? It's only 6 episodes.
Right. So I was like, okay,
taking an intermission in a TV show.
In the first year. It's like, come on, of this particular series. So, Coy, quickly, what'd you think? Yes or no? Just give me an up or down. You're going to go back? Oh, yes. Okay.
I liked it. I like it because, it's telling the point of view of the story from the character Kanan, who's played by 50 Cent.
That was 50 Cent's character, right?
Yes, and it shows him in the 80s and the early 90s growing up. So it was fun to kind of watch that and nostalgic to kind of see, the hairstyles, the clothing, the lingo, and what have you.
That was your time. That was your time.
No, that was my time.
Coy a gangster for real.
She really is.
Yeah, Coy a gangster for real.
Yeah, she got the plants and pretend she's a college girl.
But for real, Coy a gangster.
Just showing my softer side.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So who plays Kanan?
I'm not sure of the young man's name that plays him, but he kind of does give you. Yeah, a little bit of favor.
He played Bobby Brown. Didn't he play Bobby Brown?
That's who it was. That's
in New Edition.
Yeah, in the New Edition story. That's what I thought it was too, Don.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's him.
Yeah.
And so he, I really like this also because with the shots of New York, they actually show New York with the original Twin Towers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, that's just kind of amazing how they put that together. Yeah. And it also kind of loosely crosses over with real aspects of 50 Cent's childhood. He also grew up in Jamaica, Queens neighborhood in New York, so that was cool to see. And just
if you're producing the show, you can bring all your stuff in that you want to do.
Yes, and the young man's name that plays him is Mackay Curtis is his name.
Mackay Curtis. Okay.
And it's also great to see Omar Epps.
Yeah.
Back in the spotlight, acting. Wonderful actor, great actor from the 90s.
Yeah.
A lot of women chased after him in the 90s too. Because
okay, I'll just keep my business out of this, okay? So now as we look at the wrap up, here we have the wrap up of as we come to the close of this, I want to share a couple of things with you and also and let people know how they can keep in touch. Oh, we have somebody, Shante. Oh, yes, we did not talk about
Yes.
that. And we will talk about it in our next episode. RIP to Biz Marquis. That is absolutely,
Rest in peace, Biz.
it really is.
Nobody face the beast.
You got
Come
the
on.
vapors.
Come on.
Hey,
Come
you
on.
got
Come
the
on.
vapors.
Biz.
You got the vapors.
And speaking of Biz and what he meant to so many people, and as this is the flow of life, and so today's Yogi's Jewel is be open to change that life will surely bring. Thinking about Biz and also talking to some friends of mine this weekend, that is the cycle. That is the cycle of life, is that it, and it keeps going. It's good to remember the great things about people who their music or their TV shows or their movies, their acting, their singing meant something. But the cycle of life is that change is inevitable. And we do thank them for the parts that they played in our lives, as well as we just keep going on. And we have to, in their name as well as for ourselves, we have to be open to how life changes on a daily basis for some of us. So, Dom, how can people follow you? How can we find you?
Dominique, DOMINIQUE, comedy, COMEDI, but some call it comedy. And this Friday I'll be at a place called the Secret Group in Houston, Texas, and next week I'll be in Philadelphia at the Punchline, July the 29th through the 31st.
But we can always keep up with all of your schedule by going to Dominique Comedy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's on all platforms.
And how can people find you, young Coy?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Coy COY _Malone MALONE. And
Thank
can
you
also
so
see
much,
me every
ladies.
Monday at 7:00 right here.
Thank you, Sybil. I always have
Six
fun. I
Central.
can't wait to come back. Sorry
Please.
I was late today.
We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye.